Well, there's one thing you don't do with an EDC pocket knife, and this is a prime example of that. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another blade review here at Gideonstactical. If you're new to the channel, I'm Aaron, and we're looking today at the Boker Sliplock. Now, I hit up Boker recently because I saw this model and I was like, I want to test it out. They were willing to send me a sample. In no way, shape, or form have they sponsored the content in this video. This is purely my feelings, my feedback, the pros and cons I like in the design, and there's one aspect that just left me kind of scratching my head that I'm going to definitely share with you guys along with a few other aspects. Now, right out of the gate, let's go ahead and look at some things that really caught my eye that I was like, I want to check this out. I really liked the blade shape. That blade shape is sick. I mean, just look at that thing. I like swedges, clip points. They really connect with me. This is a nice flat clip right there, broad portion, great tip right there for piercing. So I did really connect with me on that front. And just the overall blade shape kind of in a, it starts kind of narrow near the handle and then bells out. You see that sometimes in fixed blades, but you don't always see that in pocket knives. So this really connected with me on the blade shape, you know, visually. I was like, that looks like a really, streamlined design. The second part is, even though this is made in Asia, I can only assume China because they didn't say anything else, but it does have Sandvik 14C 28N steel. I really like that steel. I prefer it over D2 if we're talking about overseas produced knives, and this has held its edge really well. It's tough, it's durable, it's rust resistant, and it's easy to put an edge on, and it holds a decent edge. It's not a super steel, like there are a lot of other steels out there that are gonna hold their edge longer, but that is a good steel choice for an overseas produced knife. So that really connected with me. Now, when we look at the pocket clip, that's really sweet. I like the flare, didn't catch on anything. We got 2 screws. It is a righty only. There's no place for lefties, sorry. And you got that big stainless steel body that really has some cool little accents, I guess, accent pieces, with a cool G10 on the other. So you got G10 one side, and then you got the stainless steel on the other. Huge frame lock. And I think these are just bronze washers. I am not seeing any ball bearing spaces in there, so that is a really cool thing as well. If there are ball bearings, I can't seem to tell. And you have a huge stop bar back there. So durability in tandem with that frame lock right there. I mean, look at that thing. I mean, it's rock solid. I have zero play. That's what, if I have a choice, I prefer that in my folders. And then with that really big slit right there, not only can you kind of like slow move it, but it's actually perfectly laid up for a middle finger back flick. Very, very functional design in that way. Good pivot point right there. Now you have this kind of interesting cut up in the center right there. Didn't create a hot spot. It actually is a pretty ergonomic knife overall. It has a 3-inch blade, but a 4.3-inch handle. So I have lots of grip, and because of the thickness, it's not super heavy. I mean, it's over 4 ounces, like 4.03, I think. Let me double check the specs there. 4.2 ounces. So it's a little bit on the heavy side for a 3-inch knife, but it's not astronomical. Flowed through construction all the way. Now, in just a moment, I'm going to hit the one attribute that I was just like, okay, you shouldn't be doing this on a blade, and it really affects the performance. But before we do that, I do want to invite you guys to hit that like and subscribe button. You can just click that thing, and so you can be notified every week when I put up new content, breaking down gear and equipment, showing you pros, cons to help you make wise choices. Because it is really you, the viewers, that help me to create content like this, along with the regular sponsors that we have here at the channel. And I want to give a quick shout out to today's sponsor, which is HUCKBERRY. And with cooler temperatures right around the corner, it's a perfect opportunity to gear up on some excellent, well-built outdoor apparel. Introducing their Waxed Jacket Outpost. This is kind of their one-stop shop for this iconic material in all sorts of different designs, including my favorite, this waxed trucker jacket. This is flannel lined. I'm on my 2nd season. Having this built in America with material sourced from New Jersey and then cut and sewn in LA, it has been bulletproof here in the Colorado high country and is so durable and keeps me warm. And it's such an iconic design. My wife recently was like, do they have that design for women? and they have recently released a women's cut version of this jacket. So we got one for her, and she sports it all the time and looks great in it, and it's just a perfect design for men and women. But if you're more of a hoodie guy, don't worry. They have their 10-year hoodie that is designed in both pullover as well as zip up. I have both. They're sourced out of the Mississippi Delta, sewn in LA, and these things are so warm. An extra large hood to really keep out the wind. Perfect for like tailgating, hanging out with friends, or working around your property, preparing a campfire, that type of stuff. I mean, it is an excellent designed hoodie, and that's just scratching the surface. I mean, I'm wearing like American-made denim jeans from Flint and Tinder, and the list goes on and on. And as an added bonus, along with the link in the description box below over to Huckberry, I have my exclusive 10% off promo code you can apply towards your very first purchase, saving you a little extra scratch. And while you're over there, with any purchase of $75 or more, you can get entered in to win through September 26th into their Pappy giveaway, which is $15,000 worth of prizes and cash. It's just wild. So all of the information will be included in that link, and I'll have that promo code as well. So I invite you guys, go check out what Huckberry's got going on and score yourself some excellent gear and apparel this fall. And we also have a good detent. Sucks it in there, and then you have to overcome the detent ball down there in the frame lock. So here's what you don't do with an EDC pocket knife that's definitely designed to be kind of like a gentleman folder a little bit. It's stylistic. The blade shape, everything up until this point, I'm really digging. And on, the photo, I'm like, yeah, this looks like it could really have some good, meat to it. Well, it has too much meat right here. The stock thickness back here, which basically holds almost all the way to the tip, is 0.156, basically 5/32 on a saber grind that only goes up half an inch. So the geometry is so wide that it did not cut well. It is not a slicer. I had a hard time. It even bogged down with some cardboard. Really had to put a lot of pressure on almost everything I came in contact with. The original like edge is fine and ground in fine, but it's because of how thick and short that grind is. This is like an SRK, like combat style blade shape on a little pocket knife, and it just doesn't compute very well. Just to give you some perspective here is the Cold Steel AD10, right? This is a massive, huge folder. This actually even has a slightly thinner stock at 0.153, according to my caliper. Back here, but the grind height from edge to where the grind ends is basically 7/8. So almost an inch. This is half an inch. So you're getting a slightly thicker stock. You're getting almost half the travel time. And this isn't a slicer, but it slices way better than this one. I mean, this can definitely do some good cutting tasks because of the way higher grind and longer time that it takes to transition to that angle, if that makes sense. So I hope I'm unpacking that well. So sadly, I mean, it's really cool. It would be great for stabbing. It's basically a crowbar. It literally, like that Rhino. Yeah, I mean, that's how it is. It's cumbersome to cut. You have to put a lot of pressure, and it is not a fun slicing instrument. If this thing had been an 1/8 of an inch thick with the exact same grind, I think it would have been a lot better. Or if the blade had just been a lot broader, giving us more travel time on that grind. So it's not a great EDC knife. I'm just going to be honest. I didn't enjoy cutting almost anything with it. It's fun to carry. It's fun to play with. It looks good. I think the materials are there. The other aspect is the price. Now, if it would performed really well, I would be like, yeah, it's a little on the steep side, but not the end of the world. MSRP is like $137, I believe. So obviously street price is a little bit less than that, but definitely we could argue is probably going to be over $100 for this knife. And again, for some perspective, like the S35VN version of this AD10 is like $155. The AUS10 version, which is going to be very similar in edge performance, like steel performance to this Sandvik, is going to be like $110. So right around that same price point, you can get, a Cold Steel AD10 variant to what this knife is. And this will definitely outperform it in cutting tasks and obviously durability because of the triad lock. So, yeah, I'll have links below over to where you can pick these up if you still want to take a look at it, or if there's something you're interested in. And I will definitely have one popping up for the cold steel if you're interested. But sadly, everything about the tool I really connect with outside of its performance, because literally thickness of blade and grind chosen. So even if I had like a full flat grind, it would probably have performed better than this or hollow grind, you know, something like that. So guys, that's me. That's my mileage on the Sliplock, not to be confused with slip joint. Leave a comment below, particularly if you own one. How has it been performing for you? Always appreciate your guys' feedback. I do invite you to check out the other video, to subscribe if you haven't. And until next time, always remember to stay equipped, stay prepared. I'll see you out there.